web API, it should have a client and server. It definitely should have a client and server. Just scroll down it. Yeah. Now let us see what are the architectural constraints which we need in order to set up a RESTful web API. Go to these are the architectural constraints. Constraint means set of rules, uniform interface, stateless, cacheable, client server, layered architecture, and code on demand. These are the rules that should be handled, taken care, so that you should set up a REST API. Go to the client server, come down. Yeah, that's it. So your architecture should have a client server architecture. Means client should not know anything about the business logic. For example, concentrate here. Yeah. If you are using a mobile, it doesn't need that what is the code it has. It doesn't need, you should not, it is not necessary you should know about the logic behind how it is working and all. A client is unaware of anything. And server does not need to know anything about the UI, user interface. Server is only for sending the responses. Your client will request the responses. I'll repeat one more time. As being a user, there is not necessary to know about the logic behind the application. Because you are owning the application, you are using this. But what about the server? Even server should not know, no need to know about anything about the user interface. User interface means this is your user interface. This is nothing but UI. Server is no need to know about anything about the UI. This is nothing but the UI. And user should not, there is not necessary to know about the logic behind application. So what I am telling here is that your client is independent, your server is independent. Both they are getting upgraded by themselves. Client will update by themselves, server will update by itself. There is no relationship. Clear? I will repeat one more time. Client should not have, it is not necessary that he or she should have a knowledge of the logic behind application. And server will know, is not necessary that it should know about the UI user interface. That is nothing but client server architecture in your REST API. Now next is layered system. Concentrate here as simple as it is. Layer in the sense, for example, in first layer I have one device, in the second layer I have one more device, in the third layer I have one more device. Layer system means this device will only know about the immediate layer. For example, here I have a sensor and here I have an actuator. The sensor will know the information about the device which is immediately lying at the intermediate layer. This will not know the information about the third layer. That is what it is saying. An application architecture needs to be composed of multiple layers. Means your IoT network will have multiple layers. In first layer it has a certain device. In fifth layer it has a certain device. The first layer device should have a knowledge of the immediate layer. It should not have a knowledge of the fifth layer, which is far from it. That is nothing but layered architecture. Your devices are connected with each other. First device will not know anything about the fifth device, but it knows immediate which is available in the second layer. Second layer will know about the third layer. Third layer will know about the fourth. But first layer will not have information of the fourth, will not have information of the third. That is nothing but layered system or layer architecture. Understood? As simple as it is. So sitting here, he should not know who is sitting at the fourth bench. We don't know the idea about second. We have only idea about the immediate person, second bench, like that. So your REST API should be a layered system. Go to the top. Scroll up. Come. Yeah, uniform interface. Yeah. Means uniform interface means the connection should be uniform. You should not lose the connection. The connection will be persist always. And there are 4 guidelines: resource based, manipulation of resources, self-descriptive messages, and the last one is HATUOS. Resource based means individual resource identifier. Manipulation in the sense you are manipulating the data. Means, for example, you know the users and you know the user ID. By changing the user ID, you are manipulating the user's information. For example, you have a ST number 23 series WJ401. By changing it to 405, you are changing the user information. That is nothing but manipulation of resources. That is nothing but uniform interface. So your REST API has certain architectural principles. These are nothing but architectural principles. I hope you are understanding somewhat. I hope it is somewhat complicated. So try to understand. Go to this. Come down. Scroll. Yeah, go down here. So this is one is the optional one. You have concentrate here. The last one is code on demand. Means you are requesting a question. In the response, you may get a code, you may get a software, you may get a HTML, you may get a JSON answer, which is optional one. If other 5 are affecting, if there is an issue with other 5 architectural rules, then your application will not run. Your only code on demand has a certain issue, it's okay. There is nothing will happen. Code on demand means you are getting a response either HTML or JSON or any other kind of software language you are getting the response. Come down. Yeah. These are nothing but HTTP description. Get all the description is all users. Post, add a user, posting a image, posting a video. Put, updating a user ID, user with user ID. Get, show or edit user ID 1, delete the user with ID 1. Those are nothing but HTTP commands which fall under REST based API. Understandable? Get means you getting the details. Post means you are posting a new thing or adding a new user. Delete means you are deleting a web browser, you are deleting any user ID, or you are deleting a post, or you are deleting an image, and these are nothing but URI. Understandable? Say sir. So there are architectural rules. Go to that PPT. Go to the next. Yeah. So linear you can see those things only. Get, post, put, and delete. What action they are doing? Get means get list all resources in a collection. Anything. Again, one more option. Get information about the resource. Resource means data. Resource means information. Post means create a new resource. Create a new post. Put means you are updating. Replace the entire collection. Or you are modifying the image, or you are modifying the document. Delete means you are deleting a collection, you are deleting a post. Those are done by HTTP command. Internally by REST based API. Means REST based API using the HTTP commands in order to create a web resources, web services. Those web services are nothing but Facebook, Instagram, Google Engine, payment method, all those things. Clear? Understandable? Yeah. The next one is what we have. What is the next one? WebSocket based communication. API. Go to the next slide. As I discussed, it uses a exclusive pair model. Client and server, they are all in a communication. Connection is open. Now how the PPT are projected until unless we have a power, like that in exclusive pair model, connection is entirely open. Client will request for a connection. Server will acknowledge that connection has happened. Next stage is data frame. Data frame in the sense this 0101, that is nothing but data frame. Messages transferred between client and server in terms of binary information. Transfer the message, receive the message, transfer the message, receive the message. At the end, close the connection. Server will say, yeah, I am accepting the close the connection. Then only your application or your connection will close. Either client can close the connection or server can close the connection. The same thing has been dictated here. Request a setup to have a WebSocket connection. In response, server what it was doing? Accepting the request. Data frame, data frame, data frame. Sending the request, receiving the data frame information. Again sending the data frame, receiving the data frame. Until unless you close the request. Connection, close request. Requesting for closing the connection. So connection close, response. Server is giving a response that connection has been closed. Go to the Google. That WebSocket. The next one. This one. So, isn't it? Go to scroll down. WebSocket is a communication protocol that is mainly used for connection between client and server. You have seen the diagram, client and server. So what it is a full duplex protocol. What it was doing, it allows the application to send and receive the data at the same time. Last person. Full duplex in the sense or bidirectional in the sense, client is sending a request at a certain rate and the server is responding the answer at the same time. Full duplex means you are requesting, server is sending. That is nothing but full duplex system, sending and receiving the data at the same time. And it is a stateful protocol, means connection between the server and client will not be terminated until unless closed by any one of them. That is nothing but stateful protocol. Focus here. What do you mean by stateful? Just now only I have explained. Your client will request for a connection. Your server will respond for the connection has been initiated. Stateful means if client is ending the connection, then the connection is closed for everything. That is nothing but stateful protocol. It means connection is open until unless any one of them, either client will close the connection or server will close the connection. Then only the connection will close, connection will terminate. That is nothing but stateful protocol. Client and server will not terminate until unless closed by any one of them. And the next one is, it's a three-way handshake. It uses TCP protocol, transmission control protocol. It is a connection oriented and it is a stateless protocol, means there is a secure communication. It uses a TCP IP protocol. Understandable? WebSocket is a full duplex communication. Your REST API is a client server. It's a single, it's a unidirectional. But WebSocket is a bidirectional. Now let us see the applications for that. Come down. The online education sector, gaming, real-time data visualization. Gaming means, these are all fall under WebSocket communication based API. The gaming, the collaborative applications like Cloud Kitchen, they will collaborate with the Swiggy, they will collaborate with the Zomato. That is nothing but collaborative application. Or any event update application, tracking user behavior, they are all fall under your WebSocket based API. Understandable? Keep in mind, WebSocket means client and server both they are communicating at the same time, sending the data and receiving the data at the same time. Bidirectional, full duplex. Stateful means client want to close the request or server want to close the request. That can be done by either by anyone. Then the connection is completely terminated. That is nothing but stateful protocol. So these are some applications: online gaming, online education, gaming, collaborative application. They all fall under WebSocket API. Clear? Understandable? At least somewhat understood. Say some. I will repeat this. Just repetition. REST-based API means you can create a web services, a Google search engine, any real-time application, Facebook application, or any weather forecasting application. Those are nothing but web services. That can be done by having REST-based API. In the REST-based API, you will have a client and server, and it is a unidirectional. Client will send a request to the server. In response, server will send a response to the server, and they are independent with each other. Client want to upgrade. Client in the sense laptop and mobile. It has to upgrade by itself, and server has to upgrade by itself. And in the network, we have so many devices. First device will have information about second. It will not have information about the fifth. Like that, it is a layered architecture. Means in order to create a web services. I hope you understood. At least some point you understood. I take it that as a consideration. Clear, understandable? Say so.